You did everything right. You followed the plan, made the smart choices, stayed disciplined, even when it was hard. And now, you're here. But instead of feeling fulfilled, you feel empty. Not sad, not broken, just nothing. It doesn't happen all at once. It shows up quietly, in small moments, after something is finished, a goal completed, a task done, a milestone reached, and then a pause. You wait for the feeling. Pride, excitement, relief. But it doesn't come. So you move on quickly. Another goal, another plan, another thing to chase. Because staying still feels uncomfortable. From the outside, everything looks fine. You're responsible, consistent, doing what you're supposed to do. People might even admire you. But inside, the questions are different. Why doesn't this feel like enough? Why do I still feel restless? What am I missing? And sometimes, a quieter thought appears. What if this isn't what I actually wanted? But that thought feels dangerous, so you ignore it. This pattern usually starts early. You learn what gets approval. Good grades, good behavior, good decisions. You learn what makes people proud. And slowly, without noticing, you start building your identity around it. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and start asking, "What is the right thing to do?" Your brain adapts to this. It learns that being accepted, being valued, comes from doing things correctly, so you become good at it. Very good. But something else starts fading. Quietly, in the background, your connection to yourself. Because every time you ignore what you feel and follow what is expected, your internal voice becomes a little weaker. Not gone, just quieter. So now, even when life looks right on the outside, it doesn't feel real on the inside. This doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means something worked. Your brain learned how to protect you. It learned how to keep you safe by following structure, by following expectations, by avoiding rejection. But in doing that, it focused on the outside and slowly disconnected from the inside. Think of your mind like it has two guides. One is a map. The external map, it shows you the correct path, the approved choices, the expected direction. The other is a compass, your internal compass. It doesn't tell you what is right. It tells you what feels true. At first, both work together. But over time, the map becomes louder because it's rewarded, because it's predictable, because it keeps you safe. And the compass gets ignored, not broken, just unused. Now imagine this. You've been following a map for years, but the destination was never yours. So when you finally arrive, it doesn't feel like home. This is where the emptiness comes from. Not from failure, but from misalignment. There's also something happening in your brain. Something subtle. Your dopamine system, the part that pushes you toward goals, gets activated before you achieve something. It builds anticipation. It keeps you moving. But when the goal is reached, the feeling fades quickly because the reward was never about meaning. It was about completion. So you chase the next thing, and the next, and the next, always moving, never arriving. At the same time, the part of your brain that connects to your sense of self becomes quieter because you're not using it. You're not asking, "What matters to me?" You're asking, "What makes sense?" And those are not the same question. So the emptiness grows, not as pain, but as absence. Absence of connection, absence of meaning, absence of feeling. But here's the part most people miss. This feeling is not the end. It's a signal, a quiet one, telling you something inside you hasn't been heard in a long time. And the question becomes, how do you start listening again? Not by changing everything, not by making extreme decisions, but by starting small, very small. Begin with simple choices. Choices that don't need approval. Choices that don't need to be right. What to eat. How to spend your time. What to watch. Let the decision come from you. At first, this might feel strange, even uncomfortable, because your brain is used to structure, used to validation. But this discomfort means something is waking up. Another shift is learning to notice not just what you feel, but what you don't feel. Sometimes, emptiness is information. If something doesn't excite you, doesn't interest you, doesn't engage you, that matters. Not as a failure, but as feedback. You can also slow things down. Instead of rushing to finish something, pause while you're doing it. Notice the experience. The feeling, the absence of feeling. This helps your brain reconnect with the process, not just the result. Because right now, you've been living in outcomes, not experiences. Another important step is separating who you are from what you achieve. Write it down, without mentioning success, without mentioning results, just you. At first, this might feel difficult because your identity has been tied to performance. But slowly, you begin to see something else, a version of you that exists beyond doing things right. And finally, bring back curiosity, not for a purpose, not for progress, just curiosity. Explore something without turning it into a goal, without trying to be good at it, because curiosity reconnects you to intrinsic motivation, something deeper than reward. At first, it won't feel clear. Your internal compass doesn't shout. It whispers. But if you keep listening, it becomes easier to hear. And over time, something shifts. You still make good decisions. You still move forward. But now, there's a sense of alignment. Not because everything is perfect, but because it feels real, because it comes from you. The emptiness doesn't disappear instantly. It changes. It becomes space. Space to feel. Space to notice. Space to reconnect. And in that space, something new begins. Not loud, not dramatic, just real. So the next time you feel that emptiness, don't rush to fill it. Sit with it, just for a moment. Because it might not be telling you that something is missing. It might be telling you that something inside you is ready to be found. And this time, not by following the map, but by listening to your own direction.